pleased to introduce Colissimo. So Sanae Murschel, is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Director of International Sales, and Florian Leclerq, Sales Manager Europe. So you have the next sort of 43 minutes now to talk us through the Colissimo story and proposition. Okay? Now, the audience, you know the form by now. I will pause during the presentation and invite questions from you. If you could raise your hand, I can then see you, and it's easier and the whole thing works so much better. Okay? Before we start though, can I just ask the retailers in the room, can you just put your hands up if you're a retailer? So we have retailers, so probably about 10 or so, maybe 11. Okay, fantastic, great. Okay, and of you retailers, the 10 of you, do you ship either domestically in France or ship to France? All of you, good. Okay, good start. Right, I hand over to you.
Thank you, John. Welcome to our workshop. We are very pleased to be here today. So at Colissimo, we are convinced that the economic performance of a company must go hand in hand with innovation and the positive impact it has on environment and on society. La Poste Group strives for innovation, and its CSR engagement throughout the years is the perfect example of that. So today, we will share with you a comprehensive overview of the progress made by Colissimo in 2003 to become more responsible and more sustainable player, and the technology solutions we have deployed to drive innovation and respond to the last mile customer needs in France. For those who don't know us, I would like, and before we dive deep into today's topics, I would like to introduce you first to Colissimo with some key facts and figures. Colissimo is the parcel division of La Poste Group dedicated to the last mile B2C delivery in France. We are the French market leader with 465 million parcels delivered last year, out of which 1 out of 3 were delivered next day. Colissimo has 19 next generation pre-sorting hubs with over 70,000 men and women and 26,000 pickup and delivery locations, including 9,500 postal offices. We provide omni-channel solutions, including home delivery, PUDOs, returns, ship from store, all of this supported by lean plug-and-play technology. So Colissimo managed to achieve a growth last year and deliver a good performance in 2003 and reach an NPS, apologies for that. So we have managed to deliver a good performance last year and achieve an NPS of 61. But despite growing our volumes and improving the customer experience, we never lost sight of the importance of sustainability, and we managed to reduce our carbon footprint in 2003 in this growth process. So since 2012, since 2012, Colissimo has been actively committed to improve CSR and adopted a CSR approach and has undertaken several actions and investments throughout the entire supply chain in order to promote and achieve more sustainable e-commerce. Recently, La Poste Group had its trajectory, La Poste Group had its net zero emission trajectory 2040 approved by the SBTi. To reach this target of the net zero emission by 2040, Colissimo intends to continue investing in this area, and to reach this target, we are actually having significant reduction of the carbon footprint in 2023. Indeed, with a rate of 316 grams, we have achieved 49% reduction in the last 10 years, with a 12% reduction, an accelerated one, just in the past year compared to 2022. In 2023, we have reduced the kilometers traveled by 20 million kilometers, And we have managed to achieve that by improving our supply chain, by re-engineering our network and optimizing our transportation routes as well. Another milestone that was achieved in 2023 is the 100% parcels delivered carbon-free in Paris area. For this, electrical vehicles and cargo bikes were used to deliver 50,000 shipments per day in this area of Paris. So these results showcase the effectiveness of the actions we undertake, and we will continue to invest in this area in order to reach 100% carbon-free parcels delivered in all France's main cities by 2025. So, how did Colissimo manage to achieve these results in 2023? Which endeavors were deployed to help get there? So just to be precise, 90% of Colissimo CO2 emissions are related to transportation and final mile. So besides reducing the routes and the number of kilometers by 20 million in 2023, more than 3.7 million kilometers traveled in 2023 were done using biogas and electrical heavy vehicles whenever the distance allowed it. We also have invested tremendously in acquiring swap buddies. For those who don't know swap buddies are smaller trailers that can be attached to each other to transport more parcels, but also help optimize routes. So since 2023, 1,150 swap buddies have been deployed throughout France to carry more parcels and reduce the kilometers traveled. Furthermore, and since 2021, Colissimo has deployed the loose load process to optimize the truck's utilization and avoid transporting air. Organizing and sorting bulk inside the truck is then replacing the pallets that we use in the trainel today, especially that some pallets can be not stackable. So by doing this, we avoid to transport air and we optimize the network. On the last mile initiatives, and as I said earlier, in order to achieve 100% of the parcels delivered carbon-free in all France cities by 2025, Colissimo has already invested in an electrical fleet of 33,000. 16,000 of the fleet are electrical vehicles and 17,000 electrical bikes, including 531 cargo bikes. So our electrical fleet will increase by 8,000 and by 1,000 cargo bike between now and 2025 in order to reach the target of delivering 100% carbon-free parcels in all France's main cities. So we talked about the transportation component. On the building component, the building component represents around 10% of the CO2 emissions that are generated by our activity. Colissimo has successfully passed all HQE audits that prove that all criteria for certification are respected and all standards are met. For instance, looking at the impact that a building has on environment, also its use, its renovation, and for new constructions as well, all these topics are concerned by these audits. And last but not least, raising awareness is a behavior we drive on a daily basis with our customers and partners to help reduce our carbon footprint in every activity we do. So for instance, packaging. We have offers, we can provide our customers with reusable packaging, we can advise them in this manner, but we also conduct surveys of their own customers to provide them with the size and the condition and the type of packaging used and advise them as necessary to avoid transporting air. But in order to reduce the CO2 emissions, we must first measure them well, which is why Colissimo has developed a CO2 calculator, sustainability dashboard, and ecological score to help measure our impact for all our daily logistics and final mile activities. So I will give the floor to Florian to elaborate further on the technology we have developed to help measuring the CO2 emissions, but also to share with you all the technical solutions and great deployments we have done lately in order to deploy innovation and respond to the customer needs for last mile in France. To you, Florian.
Thank you, Sam.
Just before Florian picks up the baton, do we have any questions, particularly on the sustainability part from the floor? No? No questions on all of that?
It was clear.
It was very clear, very clear. I am curious though, so your target, so you're currently 100% carbon-free delivery in Paris.
Absolutely.
And your plan is by when for every major French city?
By end of 2025.
By the end of next year?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why we increased the fleet by 8,000.
Okay.
And cargo bikes by 1,000, bringing them up to 1,513.
Wow.
To be able to do that.
Okay. And also, I know that the electricity in France is very green because you have a big nuclear electric program and so on, compared to some countries in Europe where the electricity is not as green. So it ticks a lot of boxes. But in terms of the infrastructure you've had to put in place to provide charge points for 33,000 vehicles currently.
Yeah, we have the biggest fleet in France
Yeah.
in terms of electrical investment that we made.
And if I was a customer and I switched from, let's say, not such a green solution in France to Colissimo, can they use your green infrastructure to help improve their carbon footprint? And do you give them any, I don't know, like an annual carbon savings report or something?
Yes, we do, actually. And we actually go way before this step. We can customize together with the customer the checkout in their website to indicate which postal code is delivered green. So we can already give visibility at this level. And then, of course, Florian is going to elaborate on the CO2 calculator that calculates every single CO2 emission that we make from the moment we plug into our network.
Brilliant. Okay. Right, before we hang on, I mentioned first thing this morning at 11 o'clock in the intro that today is the 30th year anniversary of Amazon starting business in a garage in Washington 30 years ago this very day. So that's a great example of innovation. So you're going to tell us about how your innovation compares with that.
Yeah, I will tell you more. Thank you, Sanae. Thank you, John. So as Sanae has explained you, Colissimo's strategy is really focused on the sustainability, which is more and more important for everybody. We are also, Colissimo, really focused on providing the best possible customer experience. Colissimo wants to be the privileged link between the seller and the buyer. So I can share with you the technical strategy, which is based on 4 pillars. The ones you see just in front of you. So the first one is we work to simplify. Simplify means that we want to digitalize and harmonize all the internal and external process to be the most coherent and resilient for the customers. I will give some examples. We will illustrate those pillars in the coming slides, but you will see it's clearly part of our main strategy. Second one is leverage. Leverage means that we want to focus more and more on the data. We are clearly data-driven because the business is data-driven. And so we involve all the team of the companies to take this in consideration. Anytime we do have a new project, we will always consider what is the data impact, which level of resources we will need to be sure to provide the best solution on the market. The third one is to develop. Develop means that we want to provide additional solutions. We focus first on the last mile delivery, but we want to propose additional solutions, additional services for the consignees, for the end consumers, but also to co-build those solutions with the retailers. Just one example I can share with you, it should be in pilot before the end of the year, would be to deliver the parcel, but also to have someone who will participate to the installation at home. For example, a mobile phone delivered to someone who is not very familiar with how manage a mobile phone, we will help this person to switch all the data to the new mobile phone. So you see, we go further than only just deliver the product to the consignee. So it's really in our spirit and in the value of La Poste and Colissimo. And the last one, but not the least, enable. Enable is really to prepare our IT infrastructure, because if we want to get the three first pillars works, we need to have something resilient and consistent in terms of IT resources and infrastructure. So it's really key for us to get that. Sanae, you were talking about the CO2 calculator. So it's something that we have developed and which is already available for customers, for partners. They can access it from a Colissimo La Poste website. And thanks to that, they have the visibility, the view on which level of CO2 emissions they have provided. We have the average of 316 grams per parcel on global Colissimo network, but of course it will be customized and personalized per customer, so they know which level of CO2 they produce and how we help them to save some and reduce some CO2. On this one, we provide KPIs, which are measured thanks to the shape, the kind of the parcel, the loading, the way it is delivered, and also the destination, final mile destination. And we can provide and see and say, okay, for example, these retailers, you have delivered 20, 30, 40% of your parcel with zero CO2 emission, and we have a graph to explain this in details. So on that part, we are very proud. We are very proud of that. We just get the award. It was last week on the IT night, and we were in second position because the solution is liked and appreciated in the market. And by the end of the year, we will get a smart freight certification. And getting this certification is also very important for us because it pushes us to go again deeper in the details. So we'll be able to provide again and again more details to our customers, to our partners on how they produce CO2 through Colissimo. And we do have as well the ecological score, and we want to support our customer, to show it, to highlight it, to give more confidence to the consumers at the end. If we go on the simplify pillar, we want also to highlight what we have done on the return service. Return service for us is really, really, really important, and we have focused our energy and all the invest on providing a solution clearly effortless. We want to reduce the effort for the consumer, so we propose them to choose. They got one label, and they will say, okay, I can return it through a post office, through a shop, but also through their own letterbox if they want. This solution, letterbox, was really convenient and popular during the COVID period because people could stay home and just return the parcel very easily. The postman comes, he collects the parcel, so it works very well. It's a complete solution. On top of that, what we have developed as well, we want to serve the totality of the market and the population. We know some of them don't have a printer at home or don't have a printer at the office. So for those one, we have the solution. You can go to a post office with a barcode, and you can print your label from the post office. And this one, just right now, is evolving. It will be done through a QR code as well. And this QR code will be, again, more efficient and more secured. So that's why we are very, very glad to get this live in the coming weeks. And it will be deployed as well, not only in post offices, but in the shops. So you see the way we process on the return. And we wanted to go also a little further on that to really stick and match with the retailer strategy. You see, this is typically a Colissimo returnable, so classic in our world, available through an API solution. And we can provide a space, an area where the retailers can customize a dedicated own barcode, because we know that when the parcel comes back, you need to scan it to be able to directly push the parcel on the good area. And so we have this part. And the second one, which is also very important, we know that the reverse logistic, return policy is always important to give confidence to consumers, but it's also impacting on the global budget. So we see the strategy and the different policy evolving. Some retailers decide to make a limit on the possibility to use a return label and to return a parcel. So we can now, in our system, say, okay, for this volume, for this activity, I want to get an availability on the return label for 15 days, for 30 days, 45 days. Normally it's 1 year, but we can adapt it per retailer.
Nice.
So we adapt and we stick directly to their strategy. Those two evolutions are very, very convenient, we think, for the retailers. It helps to optimize the process, of course, to go faster, to process a return parcel, to push them back on the activity and to be able to resell them and re-put them on the market. So it improves clearly the cash flow management and secures the return process. You had some question or remarks on the fraud, I think, no? Or it was not on your part?
How many out of 10 section where we question the audience?
Yes. Well, do you not put the first question up there?
I think it's...
Sorry, guys, we got this wrong. The 9 out of 10 bit was supposed to be blank, and then the clicker
You didn't
slide,
see anything.
and then the 9 reveals. So pretend you didn't see 9. No, let's show the next slide. It's probably easier.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they shared me these numbers, do you want to walk through the story behind the numbers?
So on the fraud side, after investigation and request to the market, we see that 9 on 10s fear an increase in the risk of fraud and cybercrime. And we see it clearly increasing in this context. Right now, the market and the economic is quite difficult, let's say it like that. And so we see fraud increasing in France, but in Europe, in different countries. And we have to consider it, of course, in our strategy. 6 out of 10 have not allocated a specific budget to combat it, to fight the fraud and cyber threat.
Which is quite worrying, because that means that they don't measure the impact that this can have on their system.
Not all of them.
So this,
some do, but not all of them.
Yeah. So that pushes us actually to do something about it. This is not enough.
Exactly. We face it because as we are the last one to represent the retailers who deliver the parcel, we do not fraud, but we see it and we need to support our customers or partners. So on that part, we have taken already 45 initiatives at different stages, different levels, to prevent fraud, to provide solutions. We want to support the retailers to not refund someone who would have fraud or make a threat safe. So what we have done already, one example is in the tracking event, in the EDI flow, we push an event saying, okay, there is a suspicion of fraud. And we do that thanks to previous actions. We do have IT team, a fraud team who worked on an algorithm to identify, thanks to the address, thanks to different data, thanks to the device which was used to say, okay, this one, we think there is a fraud, and we alert our partner, we alert our customers, the retailers, and this way they can, before refunding directly, they can investigate and maybe do not refund. Wait really to get the parcel back before doing anything. Another action we done on that part, still mastering the data on the leverage pillar, is we pushed on the market the mandatory QR code. This one works very well. We are very proud of that. We made some tests last year, since between June and December, and in the beginning of the year, we have deployed it to the totality of the market, to the global market. How it works is that the consignee receive a QR code or a 6-digit code, and to receive the parcel, he will have absolutely to provide this information to the postman, to the delivery guy. If he don't, he won't receive the parcel. It is really mandatory. The way it has been built, it's also in a very specific IT process to make it secured from the beginning to the end. Thanks to that, you see the result. They are just in front of us. 50% decrease on the claims, on delivery dispute, and 73% of compensation paid less. So really impacting.
Can I just jump in and ask you a question about that? What sort of products are typically drawn to that kind of additional security? Is it high value or products that are majorly linked to age restrictions? For example, no under 18s are allowed to buy that product. How do you use that? What clients use that product?
It's more for the high value, clearly.
High value.
Clearly, and also because it could be used as well, as we said, for the people upper than 18 years old, but it's really more for the high value. We saw with different partners and customers that thanks to this solution, they have reduced the totality of the refund, still keeping their customer happy and loyal, but they just pushed away the wrong ones. And thanks to that, they optimize their budget, they make huge savings, and it's really a positive result at the end.
Okay, cool. Can I just pause? Any questions on any of this, particularly on that last bit to do with fraud? Any of your businesses got an issue with fraud at the moment? We have a question just now on the...
I'll check.
If you say who you are in your company.
Yes, my name is Franciszek and I come from Czech Republic, from Notino. I have a question about the deliverability, because in France the home delivery is known by delivery to a mailbox, and whenever you want to avoid fraud, you can activate this solution against PIN code or QR code. What is the difference of deliverability that you see in your data between delivery without presence of the consignee and delivery to a mailbox and delivery against a PIN code?
What do you mean in terms of
like the
which
percentage
impact?
of parcels that are delivered to consumer, and the difference between mailbox and delivery against QR code?
It really varies by industry, but I think we still see the majority of the shipment delivered into the mailbox without signature. That's the main trend. Correct me if I'm wrong, Florian.
Yeah, it's the majority.
It's majority. I mean, it is a growing trend because of the fraud, Franciszek, but the main shipments are still delivered to the mailbox. I don't have an exact number.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have the exact figures on that.
Maybe I haven't asked a right question. For Notino, we deliver a majority of parcels without signature.
Yes.
And when activating a PIN code, we can see that we have many returns or many parcels coming back, more than if we had a delivery to a mailbox without a presence. And so this impacts our turnover, and also after that the NPS that we measure at the end of the customer journey. How do you see the percentage of the difference of deliverability or returns rate?
You talk about delivery on
The
on
undelivered
first attempt.
items. Yes.
So we see it's true a decrease for the delivery on the first attempt, because we really want to secure it on the maximum way at 100%. But what can be really useful to reduce this part of parcel not delivered on first attempt is we advise our partners to have a clear communication on the checkout, on the website, also through mail communication on the order confirmation, to say, okay, please be careful, you will receive a QR code, a 6-digit code, and you will need it to get your parcel. So we see that part, and in the meantime, we see an evolution, positive evolution of the QR code delivery, because it answers to a need on the market. What are your figures, just to understand it more in details? What are your figures that you notice?
We see that depending on each country, we can have even up to 6 or 7% less delivered parcels, which is a big impact. Yeah. So that's why I'm asking, what is your experience about that?
To be honest, we haven't experienced a percentage that high, because as you know, for Colissimo, if the customer knows he's not going to be home, you know, Franciszek, that he has the option to change the delivery to the nearest post office. I don't think we've seen any impact of introducing the QR code impacting the undeliverables.
Yeah. It's more on the first attempt, but at the end, parcel are usually
because we give options
delivered
to customers to put them in PUDOs, in postal office. So if I think we would have known about the impact if it was that big, and 6%, we would have absolutely known about it. But
But it was to study more in details your figures to see what we can do.
Okay. thank you.
absolutely. And we have launched this technology on the 1st of January this year. So far, the customers are very happy, and actually, they have switched more of the home delivery into the with signature because of it helped them reduce the budget that they dedicated to claims. So far, it's working good. And to answer your question, is usually around 100 euros, 150 euros value of basket.
Okay.
You know, from this threshold, customers usually would like to use this option in order to avoid having a lot of claims back.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? In the scenario where somebody's chosen this extra layer of security and the first attempt, it's not possible, and it goes to, let's say, a PUDO,
Yeah.
do they still have to bring the QR code and the 6-digit code to the PUDO, or is it a normal delivery experience?
Yeah, they will need it to get it.
Right.
But just also
No matter what.
to add something else. So we can imagine the delivery guy, the postman come to deliver the parcel. You don't find your QR code. You don't find it on your mobile phone. He can directly just push a button to resend the notification with the QR code to the email already saved in our system for this parcel. So normally you get your QR code in direct and you can present it to the postman and get your parcel. You have also the possibility through our application, we can see just a little after, and you can forward it. If you're not home, you can forward it to your wife, to your brother, anyone you want.
I think it's genius because we're all getting used to double authentication, right? With IT, software, platforms. We're used to it now. This is kind of double authentication for your parcel, right?
Exactly.
I like the way you can forward it onto somebody else to collect on your behalf if they've got the QR code or the 6-digit PIN.
Exactly.
Perfect.
And the trust remains on the right person to get the parcel.
Sure. Okay. That was a good question.
What we have developed as well is our app, Colissimo app. We had already something, but we have improved it clearly. We know that 56% of the tracking are done through the application today. So it's really important because a customer who doesn't know where is his parcel will call your customer service, and it generates additional work, but not efficient at the end. So we need to really provide directly the good solution and the good services to the consumers. We have 2.8 million of downloads of our application. And we know that 44% of e-buyers have already an account on La Poste website. Thanks to that, you access to a dedicated corner, a Colissimo corner with a secured experience, which is very efficient, you will see at the end, because you are directly recognized. You can imagine that you received a notification from La Poste saying, okay, your parcel will be delivered. You go on this one, you click, and you arrive on the application. With your own, we have a secured tunnel that we have developed. You arrive in your own space. So it means that it's already customized. We have all your data. So instead of just repeating information, everything is already integrated. It helps to go also, we are talking about simplify, to get smooth and easy solution for consumers. You see that you can have an interaction saying, okay, I won't be there tomorrow, don't deliver the parcel, please put it to the post office, or please put it to this shop. Or if you want to keep delivery at home, you have a map, you see, we can display a map, an interactive map, where you see where was the postman on the last minute. So you know if he will arrive in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, you can also organize yourself. So it's really, again, data-driven and intelligence for the delivery and information for the consignee. And you see you have the QR code at the end, which is displayed, and that you can also, as we said, forward to someone you know already. So you see this application was launched for 1 month now with all those new services for 1 month in Paris area. And to let you know, this week we are going to deploy it and extend it to all the French market. So you have the information indirect. And as you can see, we are really focused on the customer experience. Thanks to that, it helps to measure our net promoter score, so the satisfaction of the consignees. And Sanae, I think you will show more details on the NPS.
Yes. So thank you, Florian. As you could see, Florian has shared with you all the great technology solutions that Colissimo has deployed to mainly improve the customer satisfaction and make the customer experience leaner throughout the entire supply chain. At Colissimo, we rely on NPS to measure the customer satisfaction and the loyalty of the customers towards the brand, especially for the last mile services that we provide. Actually, when you look at the NPS score at 61, which is, by the way, 3 points higher than the same measurement last year, we can proudly say that we have an outstanding relationship with our customers who are more likely to use us as ambassadors of the brand and help us increase sales. You could see that we sustain this growth also on a peak season, where our Net Promoter Score remains very high compared to other players in the markets. And the trend is positive because the results of Q1 2024 indicate 63 as NPS, which is already 1 point higher than the year before. And I heard yesterday that the NPS score at the end of April indicates a 68.
Yeah.
So we are definitely on the right track. For those who don't know, since 2021, we use skippers in order to measure our NPS, and the results are published quarterly, right? And the reason why our NPS has increased significantly is because Colissimo provides a wide range of services and gives customer choices. Elements like the condition of the packaging at the moment of the delivery can also impact the area of delivery. So basically, that reassures us that we provide the right value proposition to our customers. So as you could see,
Yeah, can I just jump in here? Because first of all, does everybody understand what NPS is and how it's measured? You're all nodding? Don't be afraid if you don't. I'm going to explain it anyway, just in case there's somebody too shy to admit they don't understand NPS. So basically, you ask a survey, and what you can't see, I think it's hidden in the bottom corner here, is the sample size, right? This is 784,542.
response.
That's a big sample, right? This isn't 100 people surveyed as they came out of Carrefour on a Saturday afternoon. It's a huge sample, right? How many years have you been doing this?
I mean, since 2021, exactly January.
Okay.
So just to add on what you said, for this particular result in 2023, we have sent the questionnaire to over 15.4 million respondents, and we had the feedback from the 785,000. And this panel has all received a shipment the day before. So this is how it works.
Okay.
So it's a rate of 5% responses, 5% response on the sample.
Okay. And basically, it's you ask them to score out of 10. Yeah, you ignore 7 and 8, that disappears, and you subtract all the points from 1 to 6 away from the scores 9 and 10. Yeah, because a lot of people just sit on the fence. Yeah, so a score of 63 there and 61 there is incredible, right? In the service industry, it's incredible. Yeah, when we had a little rehearsal thing and they showed me this number. Every year we do this, it still amazes me.
It increases every year.
What's really impressive is the seasonal story as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because as I said earlier, I mean, every investment we undertake, it is also for sustainability, but it's also for improving our network and optimizing. It all comes together to provide the best customer experience at the end.
Yeah.
So we have a plan, in terms of driving customer experience, but also optimizing our network, and at the same time growing and remaining sustainable. So that's the challenge we have.
Yeah.
And it shows on the results. Like, for example, out of this survey, 9 out of 10 respondents said that they intend to use Colissimo in the next order they make. It's a very good number.
Yeah, it is.
Just based on the previous customer experience. So as you could see, at Colissimo, we put the customer experience and the sustainability at the heart of everything we do. Our aim is to grow more, grow together with our partners, but we want to do it in a lean, sustainable, and a productive manner. So with this, our workshop comes to the end, and I will open the floor for any questions if you have. We will be delighted to answer them.
Yeah, we have a question there. If you just say your name and your company, yeah? Cool.
Hi, I'm Reno from Karl Lagerfeld. I saw your presentation; it was great.
you.
Small questions though, because you mentioned about shipments from Colissimo having a QR code. Does it, first of all, does it applies for all shipments or also only for home signature services? And also, since you showed the app and with the trackings everything, is it only applicable for outbounds or also for inbounds in the sense of returns? Thank you.
Okay, so I will take the first question. So for the first question, you mentioned if the QR code is used for, I mean, we have two types of delivery. We have the delivery without signature. And I would say one of the unique selling points of Colissimo is that we can deliver into the mailbox. This mode of delivery has around 93% of delivery within the first attempt. That's why it's the most preferred mode used by our clients. And the NPS we talked about earlier goes up to 69 for this mode. Because the customer is home, is not home, if it fits the size of the mailbox, then the delivery is made. For the delivery with signature, as we said, and the QR code was deployed for shipments and parcels of high value. And for this, the QR code only applies to that and replaces the physical signature. It's like a digital signature and gives you a PUD by default. So that's the first question. And for the second one, the QR code applies to the domestic delivery within France.
Without signature.
Yeah, the second question was the scope of application, right?
You are asking maybe about the return parcel where we are developing the QR code, so it will be available as well on the app.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Sorry,
can't hear you.
we don't hear your feedback, sorry.
Have we got a microphone?
Over there.
Yes, my second question regarding is the trackings. Because you showed the app and it shows the tracking for outbound orders. I'm also asking if it also applies for returns.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
It
Of
does.
course, it does. Yeah.
Cool. Do we have any other questions from the floor?
If you don't have any other question, we are available at the booth A70, and we would love to catch you as well this evening in the post-event party, I would say. So we'll be very delighted to meet with you and answer your questions then. Yeah? Thank
Okay,
you.
great. Thank you, audience.
Thank you very much.
You were great. Thank you, guys. That was superb.